Hi, you guys. It's Devin Bat 7. I'm new here on YouTube. I needed to make a page because I wanted to share my wisdom, my truths, and some of my past with you all. And hopefully, you young women, young ladies can learn from it. You have to excuse the way I look tonight. It's after midnight. I'm supposed to be asleep. I work tomorrow. But anyway, I'm here to share my stories with you all, like I said, and tonight I want to talk about young women who give it up too early, good women that give it up too early. Because once upon a time, that was me. So, without further ado, I'll just jump right into it. I was talking to a guy at my job, and he was pursuing a young lady. She was a good woman, she had 3 kids. She works very hard. She's a beautiful young lady, but she had self-esteem issues, and he took advantage of that. He wanted to get to know her, so he say, and they ended up sleeping together the first night, hanging out together. And then he came and told me that he didn't want anything to do with her. She gave it up too easy. She probably does this with everyone. And actually, that's how men perceive us when we do that. Because once upon a time, I've done it. Not proud of it, but it sculpted me into who I am now. I'm not ashamed of my past. I'm able to talk about all of this and share it with you all. And, usually, I had to explain to him that usually when women, even good women, give it up too early, it's because there's something that's not healed, something broken within us that we're searching for. In my experience, I never met my father. He was in the military. He didn't want kids. When he found out my mom was pregnant with me, he left long before I was born. He didn't want nothing to do with her, nothing to do with me. Cut ties completely. And I struggled with that growing up. I didn't have any positive male figures in my life growing up that could, teach me any kind of discipline or teach me things that a young lady needed to know as it pertained to men and what to look for, what to avoid. I didn't have that. And I watched another YouTuber named Pastor R.C. Blakes Jr., and he talks a lot about the father wound. A lot of women have what he called the father wound, where when a father is absent, it creates a wound within the daughter, and she goes out into the world and let the world tell her who she is instead of knowing who she is. Because when you don't have a father, you don't have anyone to get your true identity from, someone to affirm you and tell you who you are in this world. You let the world tell you who you are, and you tend to follow things of the world, and you fall prey to these men. They see you a good woman, but they also see you gullible, and they're able to use you because they see you have self-esteem issues, daddy issues, because whatever you have going on the inside of you, it manifests on the outside. And it's like you send signals into the universe where, they can see your vulnerability. So it's easy for them to come in and, play with your heart, play with your feelings, and ultimately play with your body and not even care anything about you. So back to what I was saying, men perceive you as you give it up to everybody. If it's easy for them to get it like that, then it's, easy for every other man that comes up to you. And then they lose respect for you. So you have to be careful. If there's something inside of you that keep attracting the same type of man and they're no good men, then sometimes you have to turn the mirror on yourself and figure out what is it that's broken inside of you that keep attracting the same kinds of people. And once you find that root and everything that's attached to it, and you kill all of that, then you'll start attracting better people because you're being healed. You're becoming better as time passes. And then you're going to look back at your old self and you're going to see all the progress that you made and you're going to be proud of yourself. But you have to do the self-work, ladies. It's very important. If you didn't have a father growing up, you need to analyze that. You have to think about it. Okay, I didn't have my father growing up. Okay, how did it make me feel? What happened to me because he was not there? You understand what I'm saying? What happened to me when he wasn't there? How did that make me feel as well? And, you have certain patterns, things that you do that you're not proud of because of the pain that you experienced from the past. And you have to change those patterns as well. If you were sexually abused as a kid, you have to analyze that. Who did it? How did that make me feel? How is it affecting me now? It's a lot of things that we have to learn to forgive. We have to forgive the people. We have to give ourselves for the way that it made us feel, because we often feel like it's our fault, because when you're so young, you don't quite understand what's happening to you. You know something's wrong, but at the same time, you can't really process it. And you can't heal properly if you keep pretending that you're not hurt. Because the older we get and the more that we don't quite understand, our brains can't really function what's happening to us. Our brain is not really functioning, how we truly feel about something. And subconsciously, it's always in the back of our mind, and it causes us to have these toxic patterns that we grow up having. And you have to get rid of that, especially if you plan on becoming a mother. You don't want to be broken and become a mother. You understand what I'm saying? Because all that is going to put stress on your children, and stuff like that can be passed down to your children. You're not going to understand why your children is acting a certain way when you don't heal, when you don't pluck the roots that's causing you to behave the way that you behave. I see it time and time again where a lot of women, they're on social media and they're showing body parts and doing this and doing that. Their children can be right there in the room with them. They just want all of this attention because they were neglected coming up. And that's where it starts. You have to go back to your childhood. Excuse me. You have to go back to your childhood, and you have to figure out everything that bothered you. Everybody who did this to you, and you have to forgive them. The forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. They live in their life. You're the only one that's staying here hurt. And then you're out here attracting all these bad men because you have not healed. Healing is difficult. Healing is painful, but it's so necessary. It is so necessary. You have to free yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And, I'm looking over here because I have a pen pad too. I wrote down some notes. But anyway, sometimes when we give our bodies too soon, it's because we have self-esteem issues, and that can lead from, being neglected as a child, or being told that you're not beautiful enough, or you're ugly, you're this, you're that, you're fat, you're too skinny. You hear so much growing up. And, they say words shouldn't hurt as much. They're just words. Kids can be cruel. But it's a lot of parents that, bully kids too, call them out of their names too. Sometimes even your own parents. I'm just being honest. And that stuff does hurt. And that stuff sticks with you. It sticks with you. So you have to forgive. You have to analyze your childhood. You have to figure out how it made you feel. I don't care if you have to write it down. And you have to pray on that thing. You got to pray. You really got to pray on it. I know some of y'all probably don't believe in God, but, you have to do something. I don't care who you claim to believe in, call on somebody. You have to pray this thing, because it's not easy. It is not easy. But, some ways to make you feel better about this is, what I had done. Well, I'm going to give y'all a little story time on me. Let me tell my own business. Well, years ago, I met this guy. And this was around the time where I was struggling really bad with not knowing my dad, and the effects that it had on me, because me and my mom didn't get along either. Um, I had low self-esteem. I was pretty. I fixed myself up and, all this stuff on the outside, but on the inside I was so broken it was ridiculous. I used to cry myself to sleep a lot of the time. But people never knew that because I always kept a smile going. I always exuded all this confidence like I was the best thing since sliced bread. Y'all should have seen me. But but I was like the most insecure person in the room. I could have been the best looking person in the room, but I was the most insecure person in the room. I had low self-esteem. I had went through so much to the point where I felt like that was the best I was ever going to get. So I accepted a lot of behaviors that was less than what I deserved because I didn't know my own worth at the time. I wasn't really affirmed growing up. So back then I met this guy, and guys always wanted me for my looks. So that was my claim to fame. I was cute. So so I met this guy, and he seemed to be really nice, said all the right things, did all the right things. And like after a month I slept with him, and then he would go ghost. He would say disrespectful things, and I would still stick around because, like I said, I thought that was the best I was going to get. So I tolerated a lot of what he did, what he said, because my self-esteem was in the tank. But I thought things would get even better if I did sleep with him, so I did sleep with him. And after that, that's when he started to change. And I feel like that happens a lot when we give ourselves too early to these men. They start to change, but they feel like, well, I got her so easily, I don't have to respect her. She's not worth it. And you're so worth it. Baby, you are so worth it. You understand me? It's something inside of you. You have special gifts that the Most High gives you that you can share with the world. You understand what I'm saying? I had to discover that for myself, because after you sleep with somebody too soon and they disrespect you or they just leave you alone, do you know what that does to your self-esteem? Especially if it's already in the tank. It's a lot worse. A lot worse. And you just beat yourself up. I feel so stupid. Why did I do that? I should have seen the signs. We do that. We do that. And one thing you have to learn is you have to forgive yourself. You have to repent, first of all, for having premarital sex and stuff like that. I know a lot of people don't believe in not having premarital sex because everybody's having it. But I had to learn to be abstinent. And that helped me. Being abstinent can also help weed out who's there for you and who's not. There are some men out there that's willing to wait on you. There's a lot of men out there that will find you worthy, but you have to find yourself worthy. You have to also, forgive yourself. You have to repent. God will forgive you. He will. But the hardest part is, we feel like we done so wrong that he's not going to listen to us. He's not going to forgive us. And it's really your own voice. It's really you not forgiving yourself. You have to learn to forgive yourself. Don't fall into depression over this thing, because that's something else that's hard as heck to get out of. Trust me. I battled depression since I was 3 years old. That story time is coming soon. I'm 30 years old now. I've been depression free for 3 years. 3 or 4 years, something like that. It's one of them, but you have to pray. You have to figure out what is it that caused you to do what you do. You have to stop putting all your business on social media as well. I see a lot of women post what they want in a man, and they would like a man to say and do and be good to their kids. You just put everything on Facebook or Instagram, and you shouldn't do that, because there's plenty of men that's gonna lurk on your page, especially if you're pretty. They're gonna look on your page, they're gonna see all of this stuff, and then they're gonna play you like a piano with the sheet music you provided for them. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Don't put your personal business on Facebook. Then they'll try to get close to your kids too. You have to be careful. These men out here preying on gullible women that have father wounds. You got to heal it. You got to heal it, because it's a sad thing. It's so many women that bash men on a daily basis because they hurt. When, at the same time, it's not always only just the man's fault. We have to do better too as women. We got to keep our legs closed. We got to keep them closed. Keep them closed until somebody worthy comes along and is willing to wait. We have to vet these men. You have to ask hard questions, and see if they're man enough to answer them. We have to really vet these men. Because if you think about it, we look up information on anything that's important to us, but we don't with men. Yeah. We just go by our feelings. He said the right things. I like him. I think it's going to work. Go on a couple of days. He might be the one, Yeah, I can see myself marrying him, but you haven't asked any hard questions. You haven't vetted him. You don't know what his relationship with his family is like, how he loves or take care of his mom. You don't know if his dad was in his life, or if his dad got toxic behaviors that he inherited. You don't know. You don't know if he's going to love your kids. You don't know how he treat his own kids. You just know that he's saying all the right things, and you just falling for it. We have to do better as women, especially if you have children, because your children are going to suffer in the long run if you allow this individual to get close to your children. It's easy to win children over, especially when they're really young. So that's why I don't let nobody get close to my kids. I ain't even trying to get to know nobody. I'm just, man, listen. Like, I'm celibate. Get out my face. So, yeah. If you have low self-esteem, if you done been through all these experiences and your self-esteem is low, fix yourself up, If you're not good with makeup, YouTube provide a lot of videos where you can learn how to do your makeup and all that good stuff. Get you some new clothes. Start taking yourself out. Date yourself. Become an individual. Learn how to be a whole individual before you try to date anybody. Because you can't find happiness with someone else. Nobody else can make you happy. Only you can make you happy. You find happiness with God and yourself. God will lead you the right direction if you let him. Like I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I'm the happiest I've been my entire life right now. I'm in a very happy place because I'm happy and I'm whole within myself. Anything somebody else brings to the table, that's just extra. You have to learn to be an individual. Things that you like to do. What talents do you have? What are your core values? You have to figure what drives you every day. What do you want to do with your future? What's your purpose? Why does the Most High allow you to continue to be here? People losing their lives out here. You have to figure out, why are you here? And are you taking the necessary steps toward being who you need to be? Who he designed you to be? Nobody else can make you happy. You have to be happy within yourself. Once you have that joy within yourself, can't nobody take that away from you. Because when you put your happiness in the hands of another person or something, material or whatever it is that some of y'all may idolize, when that thing is gone or when that person walks out of your life, then what happens? They take your happiness right along with them, and then you're depressed. You have to be happy within yourself, baby. Don't put your happiness in the hands of no one. You know, if I can get through this, you can get through it. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. We are too beautiful. We're too powerful. We have so much to contribute to the world to just sit around and be wondering about a man, or sitting around being bitter because a man treated us a certain way. It's so many good men out here, but we will never have access to them if we don't heal. Don't no whole man want a broken woman. They don't. Because if they out here being the king, they gonna need a queen that's able to hold down the throne. If something happens to him, they need somebody they can depend on, not somebody that's mentally unstable because they hurt. You can't make a good man pay for what another man did. He's not him. So we have to make better choices. We do. We have to make better choices as women. And if you like this video, subscribe. You got any questions, comment below. I'll answer them. It's not a problem. But I'm on here because I want to help you all. I love y'all. I really do. I love my sisters. Like, we're so beautiful. Like, we need to stick together more often. I'm so sick and tired of us fighting with each other, being in competition with each other, arguing all the time. I am so tired of it. I am so tired of it. And I love my people so much. Like, I just only want to uplift my people, you know. I mean, even if you don't look like me, I can still uplift you. It don't matter. We're all women. And I'll be making videos for men too. You know, I'll make some for the fellas too. It's not a problem. But my voice is starting to get a little heavier. And I need to get my butt in bed with my daughters. So I hope you all like this video. I hope you all take heed to what I was saying. And I just pray that you all have a constant prayer life, because you're going to need it. Self-affirmations work as well. Get you some sticky notes, create you a prayer closet in your house, apartment, whatever it is that you have, and you write down all the great things about yourself. Even if you don't believe it, you write it down, you put it on the sticky notes, you stick it in your closet, on your bathroom mirror, wherever. If you have daughters and their father isn't present in their life at the time, make sure that you're teaching them to read and you teaching them what all this stuff means. You put them in their bathroom as well. You make your daughters look in the mirror and you tell them to repeat after you, and you say great things about your daughters, or even your sons. You say great things. That way when they grow up and somebody try to run game on them and tell them that, oh, my mom already taught me that. Oh, my dad already taught me that. I know. So you write that down. Write it down. You write a prayer about what's going on with you, how you're feeling, and how you want God to move in your life, and you take that on your wall. You write down prayers. You can write prayers for other people too, but you make sure you pray for yourself as well. You write down those prayers and you stick it in your closet. And, you know, especially the good ones, you know, on days where you feel low, you go back in your closet and you read that. It helps. You read your self-affirmation. It helps. Because you're going to have bad days in this transition, because it's rough and you're going to cry a lot of days, a lot of nights. But the healing is so necessary. Every day is going to get easier and easier. I guarantee you that. I was falling back into depression a couple of days ago. I had to pull myself up out of that. I had to get in that mirror and tell myself, you know better. You know better. You stand up. You be strong. You going to get through this. You done went through hell and high water and got through this. You done got through that. You can get through this too. Pull yourself together. Sometimes you got to talk to yourself like that to keep yourself from falling into depression. But like I said, let me get my butt in this room. I hope you all liked the video, and I love you guys. I will be back on with another video with another story time about how to heal from something else. And I'm here to help y'all heal and give y'all wisdom. So, good night, and I love you all, and I'll be back to make another video probably in a couple of days. I'll be back. So, good night.